that we talked about before the show. Let's give it a try. It's the biggest winners or losers.
Okay.
Winners or losers.
Okay.
Biggest winners or losers.
Gotcha.
Of Jim Harbaugh becoming the Chargers head coach. I'll give you the first crack at this one.
Oh.
Give me one of the biggest winners or losers of coming back.
Well, the biggest winner is Mr. Black hair dye head coach at Ohio State, Ryan Day. That's the first one I think of. All right.
No. Listen. Don't defame. It's black beard dye.
Oh, sorry,
not hair.
I was like,
as far as we know.
You had me scared there. I was like, wait, did I say something that I didn't realize I said? Yeah, but that's the first guy. He went like this yesterday. He went, woo, thank God he's gone. When? Because he's been whooping my ass the last few years. So that's the first guy I thought of is Ryan Day, Ohio State. They're glad that Harbaugh's out of there, and they're going to hope it's somebody lesser coaching the Michigan Wolverines.
And look, we've already talked about this, but I got to go Justin Herbert as the biggest winner because this is a guy who's going to unlock his full potential. He's been dragged down by not having an offensive head coach the past few years. They had Brandon Staley in the building. They were afraid the Eagles were going to hire him. They got caught up in this, we got to have him, and it just didn't work. They had one offensive coordinator. That guy gets fired. The other guy comes in. Everybody's gone. It's just a mess. It's a disaster. Jim Harbaugh is going to get the most out of Justin Herbert. Not with the high-level X's and O's, Mike McDaniel, Kyle Shanahan stuff, but he's going to get the most. You don't need that. When you have a guy who's got a freaking howitzer for an arm and is 6'5" and can run when he needs to, you don't need a bunch of fancy stuff. You just create a scenario where he can drop back and let it fly, like he did in that classic game where, he converted like 72 fourth downs against the Raiders.
Yeah.
Like you just trust that guy to go do his thing. You create a scenario where he can go do his thing, and that's what Jim Harbaugh is going to do.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, big winner of having Jim Harbaugh around.
Agreed. I mean, that's what's awesome about football, right? It doesn't always have to be like the most creative, I invented this. It's a lot of times about, we do things the right way. We might be simple, but we're physical. We out-physical you. We execute it the right way. And that's where, they're O-line. And then you got a big guy like Herbert there, just standing there, big guy, and throw rockets. I mean, it'll fit the mantra of what Jim Harbaugh wants. And in a lot of ways, Herbert plays the position a lot like a Jim Harbaugh did. Stand in there, big and strong, make big throws down the field. Jim Harbaugh's going to respect that, like in a big way. All right, so I know those are two winners. The next one I want to go with is a loser, really. We've kind of brought this up already, but the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders are losers right now. Compared to the rest of the AFC West, they got to be looking at this going, wait, hold on. Hey, we ended off strong with Antonio Pierce. I get that. I still think they were ended up 3-4 when it was all said and done. They're
5-4 with Pierce. 5-4.
Hey, questions. Can he do the whole thing? And now you're going against three head coaches in the division where there's no questions about any of them. It's just a matter of like, when is it going to be good? When are they going to be good? When are they both going to be when are all three of these teams going to be in the playoff conversation in the AFC West? And that's where I look at the Raiders where, hey, of course we know they got some meat on the bone as far as building the roster still and getting big-time players there. But now they're, by all due accounts, and I think it's fair to say, and I hope Antonio Pierce proves me wrong, they had the lesser of all coaches in the division as well. And so that's why I'll choose them as a loser today.
This one for me is a winner/loser, okay? Both. Patrick Mahomes. And he's a loser in this because now he's really got to worry about the Chargers every year. Now he's got to take the Chargers seriously. And even without Jim Harbaugh as the head coach, the Chargers had been pretty competitive against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. So it makes it harder for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to dominate the division. That's the loser side. The winner side is it's exactly the kind of thing that Patrick Mahomes needs to find next level. We see it now in these playoffs. You give him some adversity, what does he do? Thank you. Next level. Oh, you're giving me Jim Harbaugh that I got to deal with twice a year? Okay, fine. Next level. So, loser, yes, but winner because it accesses a deeper level, a higher skill set from Mahomes. It challenges him. And we see what happens when he truly feels challenged. It's hard to feel challenged when you're one of the best that's ever played, and you're 6 years into your career, and this is a new challenge that he can embrace. So, yeah, it's not great, but maybe it is great, because maybe we're going to see an even better Patrick Mahomes, because he's going to have to be better to beat Harbaugh in the chart.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's this guy, we know Mahomes, he's rewriting the record book in a lot of ways. This will be definitely a challenge. Where this will be different, and where at least it looks like it's going. Brady with the Patriots, Montana with the 49ers played in weak divisions. I think any historian would tell you it led to them being, seeded better in the playoffs every year because the division was weak. Almost like, damn, we got 6 or 8 games a year. We're the favorite for sure. All right, and that's where those guys that have, like Mahomes, by all due accounts, the way it is looking, he is not going to have that luxury here much longer. I think we both agree it's only a matter of time before Sean Payton and the Browns become a juggernaut. And now with the Chargers involved in this, I would say the same thing with Jim Harbaugh. So that'll be interesting too. The fact that it's like, we got a little mini dynasty here, but unlike the AFC East for 20 years, we got 2 teams in this division that we're like, okay, we're done. We're not going to get our ass whooped by you for 20 years. We're going to fight back here, and it's going to be interesting to see that. So that's kind of cool. All right, so last one. I know we got one more round with the winners-losers draft. I'm going to go losers again because, the obvious one is Michigan. The Wolverines, hail to the victors, right? The greatest fight song in all of college football. They're losers today. Of course they are. Jim Harbaugh has had them as a mainstay powerhouse in college football. We were to such a point where we were like calling them failures because they were ending up as the number 3 team in the country for a bunch of years in a row. That's what he built there. They win the national championship, and now they got to go back to the drawing board and find somebody. And I wouldn't be shocked if Michigan hires somebody within that staff that's there already to kind of keep the Jim Harbaugh, mojo going there within that college football program.
Yeah, there's already reports Sharon Moore, who replaced him during the 3-game suspension this year, is going to take over as the head coach. He's at least going to be offered the job. Why would he say no to it? It's Michigan, for crying out loud. They want to have as much continuity as possible. Remember, he made that comment about passing the torch recently.
Oh, that's right.
People interpret that as handing it on to the new generation that takes over and onward and upward for Michigan. And in that same vein, I'm not going to make this my official pick, but the flip side of Michigan losing is the NCAA winning, because the NCAA hated the guy. Yeah. They were out to get him. It was clear they were out to get him.
Do you think that's part of the reason he won out?
Organization, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They were going to get him. They had 2 different investigations, and even if they aren't going to get him, you're constantly having to worry about what are they going to come up with next.
Yeah.
They clearly want to bring me down. They're coming up with this. They're coming up with that. They're coming up with this. They want me out. They don't want to deal with me. He's a danger to the structure that the NCAA has employed for years of not paying players, because he's been one of the leaders.